everybody, it's Tony George along with Sean Salisbury, and we got a good baseball game tonight, Sean. The red hot Boston Red Sox, #1 record in the AL right now, buddy, taking on the LA Angels in a 5-4 game last night where, surprisingly, Boston got out hit 11-7, and Angels couldn't put them away. And, of course, we got Ohtani on the hill tonight. Your thoughts on Ohtani? Just got elected to the All-Star game, Sean, not only as a pitcher, but a position player, which is very rare. And, of course, he's off one of the worst performances of his career coming into this game tonight. But your thoughts on Ohtani and just the versatility of a player that he is?
I think, Tony, in modern, since I've been alive, now we've seen some phenomenal athletes and phenomenal feats. The Bo Jacksons, Deion Sanders, we've seen Jim Abbott, what he used to do as a pitcher with, when he'd have to switch the glove. Stuff that you and I would, or I'll speak for myself, can't fathom doing and excelling at and being that good. I think this is the most unique athlete in the last 50 years, or maybe more. I do. I didn't say best, but I'll tell you, because, the Bo Jackson's type of sports, but as far as what we do for baseball, if he focused on just being a pitcher, he's a Cy Young candidate. He throws 100 miles an hour, and that's his gig. If he focused on just being a hitter, well, he's not even just focused on being a hitter, and he's hit 14 home runs in the last 17 games, got 31. And the guy is in the home run derby as well. He'll hit it 500 feet in Colorado at the blink of an eye. The guy is a phenomenal. I think he's the most unique athlete that I can ever remember watching or growing up. Just the things he does, and does them both extremely well also. I hope he does both in this game. I hope they give him an inning, and I hope he gets 2 or 3 at-bats. I want to see it. I do. Because if he just rears back and throws 100 for an inning, it'd be kind of nice to see 98, 99, 100, and then come up and hit a home run. How do you not root for this guy? I think he's phenomenal. Yeah. I think he's the most valuable player in the league this year. And I know that they're not on a first-place team, and Guerrero has an argument. Correa's starting to come along with an argument. Boston's got a left side of the infield with Bogarts and Devers, both good players, all-stars. You can go up and down, but I'll tell you what, how's Ohtani not the guy? He doesn't even have Trout, and part of the time Rendon protecting him in the lineup either, 31. So home runs, I think he's fabulous, fantastic. And if I was voting today and had a vote, he'd be the MVP, and trying to keep the Angels afloat with some help from his friends. They're playing pretty decent baseball right now, but they're running into a team that is playing pretty damn well. And the 2 biggest shocks in Major League Baseball this year on the good side are the San Francisco Giants, which we've discussed, and they went in there, like we said last week, and handled their business against Arizona in the game we picked, and the Boston Red Sox in the American League, which most people had them battling for behind Tampa, behind Toronto, behind the Yankees, and now they're in first place. Great story. And it's awesome. And Uvalde pitching for Boston in this one, but I'm telling you, there's no better story in sports, let alone in baseball, than what Ohtani's doing on a day in and day out basis.
This line should be Boston -140, and it's Boston -115. And if you're scratching your head on why they're not a bigger favorite with Uvalde on the hill tonight, let's see. He held Kansas City scoreless in 7 innings the last start, which, okay, that can happen against Kansas City. Right. They're my Royals. Right. But the game before that, he pitched 7 2/3 against the Yankees and held them to 1 run. But the reason this line is at -140 is because of Ohtani. It really is. He's commanding this line, and I don't think it's warranted here. You got Boston at -115. The total is 8.5. And by the way, the last 16 games that Boston was a road favorite, they went under 12-3-1. The total is 8.5 here. A matter of fact, Uvalde here, 3 out of his last 4, he's pitched at least 6 2/3 inning, and all but one of those, or pardon me, 3 of 4 of those, he held the opponents to 1 run or less here. I tell you what here, I see both a low-scoring game here tonight, and I see a Boston team that has the #1 record in the AL. The Yankees aren't going to win that division with Aaron Boone managing them. I can tell you that right now. Let alone they're not as good as Boston. Boston, #3 in runs per game, #3 in batting average, and #3 in hits per game in baseball. And
Yep.
they got some pitching stepping up right now. I think this is a take at a -115 road fave tonight, Sean, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a lower scoring game here as well.
I am with you on both counts. I am. Now, if we get Ohtani and Evaldi at their best, which they're capable of doing, and they creep into the seventh inning, this is a definite under. Okay, that is a no-brainer, but I'm leaning to that. I'm with you. I think Red Sox go on the road and win. They're playing great baseball. They're feeling it. They're throwing their horse out there. Both these guys are all-star performers. So while I like the Angels, but they're undermanned. They just are. And if the Red Sox keep swinging the bat the way they have, and Evaldi gets them into the seventh, I like it. And this is maybe a 5-2 type game. And Ohtani's got to be careful not to put people on base early, walking people.
Right.
He's got to keep runners off. Like I said, he's a dynamic guy, but they can get away from him at times. I'm leaning under on this, but more importantly, I'm taking the Red Sox in this. I think they go on the road and take care of their business, and they win a lot of close run games. This will be more than run. I got the Red Sox on the road.
So one thing about it that scares you if you're back in LA here, and I'm not back in LA, but a couple of things. How's he gonna react off a horrible performance his last start? And second of all, in 60 innings pitched this year, Sean, he has walked 35 batters. And I'm going to tell you something right now. That is not something you want to do against Boston. You do not want to put runners in scoring position.
Yeah, so, you give them free runners early. It's going to be they'll make sure they clear those bases. That's why I say keep an eye on him early. If he's putting people on base, free passes will be a problem for them.
Yeah, I think that he's such a good player, such a good athlete, such a well-rounded guy mentally, that many people think he's going to, drop down to his knees and not be able to recover from a embarrassing performance. I say just the opposite. I say he'll come out, and I think he'll show you what his mettle is. And I don't think anybody can hold Boston bats at bay, but you can contain them somewhat, and make the score reasonable. But I think at the end of the day, I like Boston's pitcher a little better right now in the form that he's in. And I like the number at -115. Very rarely are you going to get this pitcher and this Boston team on this run at -115 against anybody. And I think there's some value in that number tonight, Sean.
I agree. And just to validate one last thing about it, I'll tell you this. If you're Boston, you do not want to have this game close with Ohtani coming to the plate late and throw him a pitch he can hit, because he will friggin' punish you. So if you're the Red Sox and you're going to pitch to him late, make sure you got a little distance in the game. But we've got some phenomenal players on the field. It's just a bummer that both aren't at full health, because I'd sure like to see that. But two really good pitchers and two lineups. Ohtani can explode, and the Walsh at first base is having an all-star year too. He was elected the all-star team, and Boston's got a handful as well. This should be a fun one. I'm with you. I don't know how you stop Boston. You may be able to contain them a little, but I'm looking for bats. I like the under, and I like the Red Sox in this game. They're just going to be a little bit too much in the end.
Yeah, if it's 4-3, bottom of the ninth, walk him.
Yeah, don't pitch to him. Bad idea. I don't care if you. Yeah, don't even roll it up there, because if you roll it up there, he may hit it out of the ballpark. So put his ass on and don't mess with it if you're the Red Sox. Agreed.
Boston Red Sox consensus pick, and bear in mind, folks, Sean Salisbury 17-7 his last 24 picks right here on these videos. Right here on these videos for Doc Sports. My competitors are knocking on his door as we speak, but we'll keep him here as long as we can, and be sure and tune in to Sean over on the Sean Salisbury Show on iHeartRadio, one of the best listens in sports radio, day in and day out. And, of course, check me out and all the handicappers over at Doc Sports with that free $60 account we got for you if you've never been a member, by clicking the link in the description below. Enjoy your Tuesday. Sean and I'll be back on Thursday.